All right, what's up? This is Capra L. So I wanted to share with you all a very short clip of a dream I had that has everything to do with frequency and vibration. So back in 2020, I had a stream of dreams that were showing me how things are going to end up in the next few years. I didn't know the timeline at the time, but it all makes sense now. Now, those dreams preceded the dream that I'm going to talk about today, which was back in 2021. So in 2021, or just last year in 2021, that dream had everything to do with the split that I keep seeing. Every time I give a reading, I keep seeing the reminder to tell them to raise their frequency so they can make the jump, make the frequency move. All right, so in the dream, I went to visit my aunt in my home state of Indiana, and she had just picked me up, and we were just getting ready to go out on town. And we were sitting there talking at a light, and then immediately, the sun was shining, it was bright, it was normal, and then immediately like that, it went complete dark, like an eclipse. But it was more like a darkness that overtook because it was pitch black. It wasn't like an eclipse darkness. And people started kind of going crazy in a kind of very chaotic, dramatic kind of way. Not like in fear, but in like lost their mind madness kind of way and kind of manner. Then they started running cat a corner to us. There was a building. We were at a light, and there was a building behind us in a corner, and they were clamoring, trying to get into that building. But they were stepping all over one another, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it was very intense moment. So we peeled off from the light, of course, just to get to safety. So as we got up about maybe a block or two, we could see that there was still sunlight in front of us, and the darkness was behind us. So it was like a slow progression of the darkness, coming, following us. It's almost like it was trailing us. So it was really kind of strange. But as we turned into the complex that we were going to, we noticed that everyone was normal acting. It was almost as if no one even saw what we saw behind us coming or headed our way. And so we felt like maybe we had escaped it, and maybe it was just a symbol that that area was having some issues or some darkness. So anyway, we turned down this into the complex, and inside the complex, she's like, hey, I need to run to the store, and then I'm going to get us home so we can get to safety. She runs into the store, but she never comes out. And I go into the store looking for her. I'm in tears because I can't find her. I get into the car, and I leave, but I'm feeling some kind of way because there was no one in the store, absolutely no one. So then flash forward inside of the dream, it was almost like, I don't know, I don't even know where I was because I didn't even know how to get to her house. But I flashed from that place into the backyard of her home, and I'm looking for her husband. And there was still brightness, there was still sunshine and whatnot. But I'm inside of his tool shed, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know where Shannon is. And he's looking at me really like perplexed and kind of dumbfounded, like, what are you talking about? And so I start telling him what happened, and he's looking even more confused. And so I say, I don't know where she is. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he's like, I don't understand what you're saying. She's in the house. And so I leave out of the shed, and I go around her house, and there she is standing in the door. I look up at the sun, and the sun is a different texture. It's brighter than normal. So then I started taking into account everything that I was looking at, everything that I had just experienced. And it felt like, because sometimes in my dreams, I can check in consciously and say, okay, what just happened here? And it was like, you moved. And I was like, I moved from what? They said, you jumped the timeline. So as I became consciously aware, I started to also wake up from the dream. But in that little gray space before waking up is where I get a lot of my messages and a lot of understandings. And so I was asking questions. It's like, okay, so what did I just experience? And it was like, you experienced the split. We needed to show you that split so you understand how intense this is going to be, how night and day it's going to be. The brightness that I saw, I understood later, was the new world that we would have that is coming, or that is more high frequency and high vibrational, that some will be able to experience. And then the darker world was the one that was going to die, the world that was going to die. So we already know that everything in this existence is cyclical, right? So you have night and day, you have beginning and ending, birth and death. And so this earth is going to go through, my child, Lord, is going to go through a death. And that's what we're seeing right now. The chaos that we're seeing is the darkness before the dawn, which is another dream that I've had also, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. However, in all of this is what I'm saying to you is the importance of that dream was to show me the people that I remembered inside of that darkness were losing their functionality. They couldn't think for themselves. They were kind of a dog eat dog society, very much similar to what we're experiencing right now. And so it's important that you take account to where your frequency is at this time. And what that means is that you're not one of those, you're not acting in your, what's it called? In the lower frequency levels. What is it called? There's a whole name for it. Gosh. I wish I could remember, but I can't right now. The sun is like heavy on me. But nonetheless, so when you raise your frequency, raise your vibration, which in turn will raise your frequency, and we'll talk about that in another video, you will start to understand why it is that we need to be more in the neutral, confident, loving, kindness, gentle zone, because in the new world, that's all that's going to flourish. There will be darkness because we will still be in more of a duality, but it's just a higher level duality. But you still need to make sure, if you want to make it to that world, to check your vibration. But for now, it's just important that you understand that you have to keep your frequency as high as possible. If you want to make this split, if you want to make this jump, this quantum leap into that higher world, the new world that has the different textures, the different light, it has a different frequency. It's more loving, more gentle than the current world that we're in. And the reason why we're seeing all the stuff we're seeing in this current world that we're in is because it is dying. This existence is dying, right? So, in that being said, you have to choose where you are, know where you are, and walk more in the higher vibration or frequency, or vibrational frequency, so that you can make that timeline, that other timeline. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about on this channel, on this station at this current time. So stay tuned for more.